You know, early on in this East Palestine situation, I made some comments or some remarks basically stating that this train derailment, or the effects of this train derailment, will affect all of us, no matter where we're at in America. And some people found that laughable, as if I was exaggerating. That is until the toxic waste from East Palestine started getting shipped right down the streets, or right down the street from their homes. But, you know, we've been trying to figure out, where is this stuff going? Because we know they tried to send it to Detroit. They tried to send it to Texas. And when I said tried, they successfully sent it to Detroit and Texas. And then we found out about Indiana. And then we found out about these incinerators where they're going to burn this toxic waste and yet again just restart the process of releasing these chemicals in the air so they can once again settle on the surface, in the soil, and in the water in different towns across America. Well, now it turns out they're trying to send this stuff to Oklahoma. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm starting to feel like this is an Oprah moment. You know what I mean? Like, you get toxic waste, you get toxic waste, you get toxic waste, everyone gets toxic waste. It's like everyone, you. You want some East Palestine toxic waste? Here you go, Oklahoma. You want some Detroit? Here you go. You want some Texas? Here you go. And before you know it, all of our cities and states will have a little souvenir. You know what I mean? We'll all have just a little chunk of East Palestine toxic waste somewhere at a dump near you. I can guarantee it. By the time it's all said and done with, they are going to spread this toxic waste everywhere. You know, that's what it's starting to seem like. And let me rephrase that. It doesn't seem that way. It is that way. It's not starting to seem like that. No, it is like that. Let's just be honest. Let's just be blunt here. That's what it is. You're going to get some toxic waste and you're going to get some toxic waste and you're going to like it. And you're going to get some too and you're not even going to know you got it. That's basically what's going on here. It's so utterly bizarre to me that they thought it was a good idea to take this stuff from one area that you know, this stuff damaged and contaminated that area. So we're going to take those contaminants and we're going to ship them all around America. Mind you, where we're shipping this stuff to, these people don't even know it's coming into their town. So now, the good folks over in Oklahoma, I guess someone over there in Oklahoma, they found out that, oh, wait, we're getting they were supposed to be getting a huge shipment directly from East Palestine. Let's go ahead and watch this clip so you all can have a better understanding of what's happening. Then I'll be right back with my thoughts.
Governor Stitt says he worked with Senators Langford and Mullen, as well as Congressman Lucas, to make this decision. Governor received this email from the EPA saying, "I'm emailing to notify you that Norfolk Southern Railway Company intends to ship waste material to Clean Harbor's Lone Mountain facility. The facility in question is located in Waynoka, Oklahoma, and specializes in hazardous waste disposal, according to the Oklahoma DEQ website." Stitt gave a reason for blocking it on social media today, saying, "There are too many unanswered questions, and ultimately, I made the decision that this is not in the best interest of Oklahomans." According to the governor's team, it's not unusual for hazardous waste to come to Oklahoma, but they say the EPA's request was. They felt it raised a red flag when they reached out, and they were told it would be around 2,600 cubic yards of waste they'd be receiving, the size of which worried them. The EPA sent us a statement saying, quote, "Norfolk Southern is under contract with a permitted disposal facility in Oklahoma that is able to accept this waste. We are reviewing all legal authorities to ensure that the people of East Palestine, who've suffered enough already, don't become victims of this political grandstanding." I asked today if this decision is to postpone and get more info or indefinitely, and they said it's a permanent no right now because of those unanswered questions. A representative of the governor says he has empathy for Ohio and its governor, but felt this was the best decision for Oklahoma. We reached out to the waste facility as well as Norfolk Southern outside of business hours, and they haven't responded yet. Colby Terrell, KOCO 5 News.
Colby, thank you. Senator Langford said today Governor Stitt was right to push back, and there are, quote, "too many unknowns for this proposal to shift hazardous waste from Ohio to Oklahoma."
So my question is, what's the end game here? You know what I mean? Like, where do we go from here? And by where do we go from here, I mean, where are these toxic chemicals and this toxic waste, where are they going to go from here? You know, I understand that areas in, certain states and cities, they're blocking this stuff from coming in. But then when you really think about it, and maybe this is just me overthinking it. Don't get me wrong. If toxic waste from East Palestine was headed to my city, which it might have been, I don't know. I've looked into it. I can't find any. But if it was headed to my city and the mayor of my town stopped it from coming in, I would be happy, right? I think we all would be. So I think the people of Oklahoma are happy that they turned this stuff around. But here's the real question here. Toxic chemicals and toxic waste, they've been going to these areas in Oklahoma and in Texas and in Detroit for years, right? And they never said anything about it then. So why are people speaking up now? Now I understand everyone knows about the East Palestine situation. I understand blocking the stuff from coming in, but if you've been allowing shipments of this same type of toxic waste for years, then why now do you make a big stink of it? Is it because now you're starting to get exposed for what you've been accepting into these communities for years? Is it because now you know there's a magnifying glass on stuff like this? What I'm getting at here is I respect turning this stuff around and blocking it from coming into your community. But what are the real motives? If you catch my drift. Do these people really care and they really want to block this stuff for your safety? Or do they know that if they accept this stuff and that this situation in Ohio, it's gained popularity? You know what I mean? Like, people are talking about this a little bit more than other stuff. So do they think that, if we allow this stuff to come in, it's going to rile people up, and then they'll figure out the type of stuff we've been letting in for years? That's what I think. I have a hard time. I don't know why. I'm sorry that I'm this way, but I have a hard time ever believing that these elected officials care about us, or that they do things for the right reasons. So I'm sure some may I want to block this stuff. I want to do what's right for the people. I mean, yeah, but I think some of them are kind of like, we don't want to accept this stuff because of the popularity surrounding the story from which this stuff came. And we don't want people poking around too much, because then they'll find out that we've been accepting materials like this right into their communities for years. So I think part of what we're seeing here is people trying to go ahead and cover their own asses before they get in too deep, if you will. I think we're seeing that here. But also I question, do y'all really want to just keep driving this stuff around the country? Why? It's like y'all are dead set on driving this toxic waste from state to state, just drive it everywhere. You know what I mean? Let's take this toxic waste and we're going to ship it everywhere, even to places that don't know we're shipping it to. And then they'll block it, and then we'll have to turn around and drive somewhere else. So ultimately, where is all of this stuff going to end up? I think, in my honest opinion, ultimately, I think all of this stuff is going to end up exactly where it was going to end up in the first place. And that's at all of these places once this story dies down. Because when you really dig into things and you really look into things, these facilities have already been accepting toxic waste, much like the toxic waste from East Palestine, Ohio. So when they turn this stuff down, a lot of it, in my opinion, after, looking into it a little bit, a lot of it seems like show. To show the people, hey, you can trust us. To show the people, hey, we're not going to allow that stuff here. Or simply to kind of hide their tracks and what they've been doing all along. But ultimately, this stuff is going to wind up somewhere. You know what I mean? They're going to tour it around the United States over and over again by the truckload. But ultimately, this stuff is going to end up somewhere, probably in a town near you, in a town near me. Oklahoma is just the latest place that we've heard about so far. And for every place you've heard about, there's 5, 6, 10, half a dozen more places that are accepting this stuff quietly. So, ladies and gentlemen, the question is it coming near you? And if it is, what will you do about it, or what will your elected officials do about it? But let me know how you feel about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.